Hello and welcome, everyone. Welcome to Drakenmemoria. For those of you wondering what this is, well, it's Dungeons and Dragons. Or more specifically, a group of people playing Dungeons and Dragons. So if this is not something you want to watch, well, fortunately for you, if you're watching this on YouTube or Twitch, you have suggestions, either to the right or to the left. We strongly encourage you to pick one and have a very nice evening. For everyone else who actually wants to be here, who wants to watch Dungeons and Dragons, watch us playing Dungeons and Dragons, just watch us, you know, some people actually like that. No matter the case, it's a pleasure to have you with us. If you're new, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. It's a pleasure, no matter which one you are between the two. And before someone asks a question, which I know no one will actually ask in the chat, but my cousin might send it to me afterward. Yes, I am on the verge of death. So, this is why I look more pale than usual. This is why I may cut the sound from time to time, because I am stuck coughing my lungs out. And this is why it looks like I am sweating, because I am. And there's ice falling outside, so we might have also a power out. Good evening! How so much fun! Publicity's sake, if you enjoy the thunderstorm that you're hearing, it's not outside because, like I said, it's ice falling outside here. It's ambient mixer, and if you like the dungeon maps, which we most likely won't have tonight, it's Dungeon Alchemist. I promise I will put up the information once I stop being sick. And Wonder Draft for World Map. And that's it for tonight. That's all the publicity. Now,
Today's episode was brought to you by the letter Q.
a very intriguing letter. Misunderstood. No, that's a
Q
different
isn't
letter
dumb.
than Q.
Like, it's also like one of the, I guess if you spell it Q-U-E-U-E, but most letters require that letter to spell the word, I feel like.
Oh, that depends on your language.
True.
Alright.
Can you spell cube? Q-B-E. Cube.
And this is what I mean by I might cut the sound from time to time. And
Oh.
I believe that the thunderstorm also cuts when I cut my microphone, so...
You heard it first. Drakenmemoria's coughs are equal to thunder.
Yeah. I am the son of the wind and rain. No, I won't be saying it more because I don't want to get sued for intellectual property. Alright, so. What happened last episode? Don't worry, I won't be reading what happened the episode before that one. I've made that mistake once. I usually don't make it twice. So, last episode. Exhausted from their first combat with the machine of the Misty Isles, the party found a place to rest for a few days. Fortunately, arriving late in the central city of the island they found themselves on, a kind soul, well, kind, led them into an inn where they could lay low until they regained their strength. After taking a few moments to plan out their next day, our party took a well-deserved rest and woke up bright and early to the best of their knowledge, because it's not obvious from the weather outside. And I believe talked even more for what they were gonna do, and then started doing it. And that's about it. And now we are starting as the party takes yet again a decision that never turns out wrong for no reason at all. Splitting the party in order to get more things done in a single day.
Worried about it.
It always ends up okay. Don't worry about it. So, if I am not mistaken, last episode we agreed that for this day, Jorg and audience would be put on tea making duty. And because of that, I am giving you a little shorter preparation time for the tea. So instead of waking up extremely early in the morning and finishing this just before everyone goes to bed, you'll actually have a little bit of time to enjoy your meal with audience at one point.
Nice.
Yeah, so instead of having to take 20 hours to prepare it, I'm reducing this to 12 hours.
Cool.
So you'll be cooking for an entire day. Fisher, who has taken a large portion of Remy's jewel collection and is writing down everything he can about the common language with magical ink, so Terry can actually read it and become more proficient with your own language than you are. And so, with this, we are left with Tobiashi and Remy, who have volunteered to become the scouts of the group. Go inside of this large city, this gloomy large city, exploring, scouting, finding out what life is in this odd place, trying to figure out where's the library, where's the bathroom, where. In a word,
Occasionally, just redirecting.
It's down the hall on the right. It's down the hall on the right.
no, actually, it was just down the hall. Period. See, it's important. You were going to go in
Not
the wrong
everybody.
room.
Yeah, not to everybody.
All right, so with this, I guess we start with Tobiashi and Remy, who just grab something to eat downstairs, or take a good berry before leaving, because that's at least is safe food. And well, I'm gonna let you leave the inn on your own terms. I'm not gonna throw you out. So, how do you want to start this episode?
As we're walking out, I'm talking to Remy. So I think we should have someone make a device where we could have a sending stone in our ear. That just for random conversation as we're listening to the end.
That's a brilliant plan.
No,
Give us one more level,
I say that
and
to
then
Remy.
we need to buy a scroll for Ramy, and then we're good.
yeah, you just gotta buy a very, very small orb for communication. Just shove it up your ear.
Yeah.
Size of a marble.
Maybe just scratches around his ear hole.
Oh, shit. Sorry, Remy. I forgot. Anyways, where should we start off? Do you want to lead the way? Should I? I think you have a better chance at leading the way here.
Honestly, I think Ramy just starts walking.
All right.
All right, I'll follow him.
So, as you leave this place, one thing that you feel is slightly abnormal when you start going to the door and think about going outside is usually when morning comes, there is no light in a tavern or an inn. They are relying on the light outside, but when you look out, it feels like it's a stormy day, or really, really dark and covered sky outside. There's even a moment where inside of you, you have this. Maybe we're a bit early, but then you look around and you notice that most people are out of the inn. The innkeeper is arguing with his wife about trying to extend the breakfast for another hour because there are a few stragglers in the rooms, and she just keeps yelling at him that he needs to put his pants on and go and get them down so that they can eat and she can do something else of her day. So you have confirmation that it is actually morning. And yet it's not raining outside. It's just dark out.
Like, you should have known something was off.
Yeah.
It's like woke up out of habit.
The news reporters around here have a really easy job. Well, at least the weatherman. Forecast for the next week is going to be super cloudy with a chance of cloud.
And a little bit of fog. Cloudy with fog. So you just follow your foot, and one after the other they lead you out. Once you get outside, there is a difference between last night and now. Now it's no longer pitch black. You really have a feeling that you are outside just before maybe a heavy rain. The sky is very dark. There's always this fog, but you can actually see the walls. You see a few people walking. Everyone feels in a hurry. They don't want to stop and talk. They are looking down, but there is a little bit more life. You can actually see a few cats in some alleys. You hear a dog in the distance just bark. You don't know what it's barking at. You even see 2 Mill-E units walking down the street, and the moment they start walking down, everyone just looks down and slightly away and hurry up to go wherever they need to go, enter wherever they need to enter, and if they need to cross their path, you have this awkward I'm in the way crossing the street walk in front of them as they're just arriving, just walking slightly faster and then slowing down once they're maybe 10 pace behind them. You hear sounds in the distance. Feels like maybe a town square, or at least a place where there are a few markets. Probably not too far. Remy, well, you'd both have pretty good passive perception, so you'd estimate that it's probably just a few streets away from where you are. Or you could go the opposite way. Go deeper in the silence.
I think what Rainy would do, like, especially since he's getting the impression that the people aren't doing a lot of walking and talking, like casually anyway. I do still think that there might be a bit of merit to go to this town square, but for the specific purpose of because he's not really going to rely on his usual sense of of a city's layout, just because this place, for all intents and purposes, has developed a bit independently from any city that he's ever been in. So essentially, what he wants to do is be able to observe a little bit for people's everyday patterns, and kind of get a sense of where the places where people are going, and then kind of work backwards to where people aren't usually going.
Okay. So how are you conveying this information to Tobiyashi?
I was gonna say, since I don't really know, most of the time I can't tell what Remy is saying by what he says in cap cuts, or what are they called? Quippets. So I'm just gonna follow Remy's lead and kind of watch around and take watch. I don't expect him to say anything to me. I think this is gonna be a very silent scoping of this area. I'm just gonna let him lead, see what's going on, and just kind of look around the rooftops, kind of just stay wary, see what's going on, look around, make sure that we're safe and nobody's coming up to us, no guys in cloaks, nothing like that. I'll roll a perception check for that.
Yeah, sure. All right. Well, apparently Remy is team leader on this one.
17 plus 3.
Okay.
20.
Okay. Sorry for the cutting sound. That's never interesting hearing a dungeon master sneeze. Blow his nose, I mean.
Unless you're into that.
Specifically Dungeon Master.
Yeah, you know, when you hear them just, oh, yeah. Makes you feel fuzzy inside.
Gotta make an edit every time he sneezes.
Alright, so you start moving along toward where there's more sound, more things happening. And the closer you get, the more you have a feeling that this is life for them. This is how it goes. It's early in the morning, and the closer you get, the more you start seeing people around. At first, because it feels like you're walking in the beginning of a horror play, you sort of had that feeling of, oh, when is the monster gonna appear? And then suddenly you see a child just walking down the street, and the mother just yelling after her own child, saying slow down, and trying to pull another one as she's trying to keep up with the one that's running. And there's sort of that's sort of an odd contrast with something that this gloomy and bleak, have this normal of a scene in front of you. But you get the feeling that this has been going on for so long. So many people got used to it, and this is their life. And so they live like this. You quickly notice there is even in the way their clothes are made or colored, it evolved from something long ago, but still has a little bit of style. For you who do not live in Dungeon and Dragon, it would probably be a bit of a Victorian feel to it. This kind of layering up for everyone. But the clothes are generally of a darker shade. Gray, black, very deep brown or deep red. Very little white. Very little bright color. No bright red, no bright yellow. People also do not seem to be drawn to talking to someone they do not know, but when they meet someone they know, you immediately have a little bit of a conversation, and you find yourself at one point walking down what you feel might be a main street, or going toward one of the main street of this place, and suddenly you have two person appearing in front of you and just starting a conversation, looking down, speaking a little bit low. One of them just keep repeating to her child, "Stop it, I'm talking to... Can't you see I'm talking? But I'm tired, Mommy. I want to go home. It's not a good day." exasperation in their parents, but they just keep talking and sort of, all right, well, we see this with a little bit more upbeat feeling to it, but it's still there. And then after a few moments, you find yourself in a large square where, yeah, there are people there talking, haggling for some merchandise, saying that the price that they, you hear a little conversation about someone complaining about the Commerce Guild having set the minimal price way too high, and then someone else just replying that it's the end of the season, it's normal that everything is going, especially fresh produce, it's normal that it's going to cost a little bit more because in a few weeks we're going to fall all on dried things that can be preserved longer, pickled things and stuff like this. And you also have this moment of realization that you've been living in worlds where magic allows you to import fresh vegetable, fresh fruit from other island chain. And whenever you are living near a skyport, there is the possibility of not even needing magic because airship travels so much faster. They're completely isolated from this. So for them, winter is a very harsh season. And you are the equivalent of nearly the end of November in there. So it is getting chilly outside. And fresh produce are becoming rare. But that doesn't change the fact that a lot of people will always try to make sure that the price is more fair for them whenever they're exchanging. People talking and haggling, trying to persuade the blacksmith that this repair is a minor repair, so they shouldn't need to pay this much, and so on and so on and so on. It's nearly normal life. But instead of having it with millions of color, you're only having it with 265 colors. Yeah.
I do a Sailor Moon outfit change. No, I'm actually going to, since you said it's getting colder and stuff like that, I would say, trying not to be noticed by anyone, I'm going to let the silk kind of like wrap around my arms and my legs. I'm going to turn the color black, and I am then going to try to fasten like the silk coming out of like my neck and area and everything. I'm going to try to fasten kind of like a something covering my face and then kind of like a hood.
Okay. Are you doing this before entering this square or as you are entering
I would
it?
say before entering it. Before entering the square.
All right. Easy enough. It takes the equivalent of a ritual casting, 10 minutes, and slowly everything covers up and darkening the color so that it matches with what you'd see other people wearing, because you have a strong feeling that they don't see a whole lot of bright pink.
Pink, yeah.
So as Tobiyashi is fashioning clothes for himself, Remy, what are you doing as you see this very mundane yet extremely sad moment?
Yeah, like I said, just kind of like taking a position where like he can more or less like see like where like people are coming and going, like in this square, and kind of essentially taking that time to figure out. Well, maybe I should like display intention so that like it's more clear like what I'm trying to get at. Because like from their understanding, like like these libraries are in, if they happen to exist, or like like these places of knowledge happen to like exist in an area. It's like they seem to be places that people actively avoid or even try to like pretend don't exist. Um, so so Raimi essentially is trying to like use like people's like coming and going, like their
Okay.
movement patterns, in order to see if he can like essentially work like backwards from a place of like a relatively like high activity to places of lower activity, so that he can essentially find potentially like like this place of knowledge uh, by working backwards in that way, just like essentially like finding the places where people aren't going or the places that may as well be abandoned.
Okay.
And he can't necessarily rely on his like usual knowledge because again, it's like this place is like developed independently from like places he's been, so like he can't really like necessarily rely on his like own sense for how like streets are
Okay.
put together.
Yeah, okay. Well, there is. It's still mostly humans, so there is an order that you're used to seeing to this, and the way that human thinks. So, right about when Tobiashi would finish creating his clothes, and you can actually enter this town square and looking around. Just like many cities, well, not a lot of the cities from the Misty Island chain, but just like many cities, the way that cities usually form is by having a small village suddenly crop up or appear somewhere, and then it grows bigger, or sometimes two villages appear very close to one another, and as they grow bigger, they sort of become a town and then fortify themselves, and the oldest one becomes where the Lord's Manor is going to be, and just keeps growing like this. So when you watch how all of this is made, you can easily recognize the most used road because they are very large, very maintained. It's very much a cobblestone path that leads out, and it leads in three directions. One of them seems to be leading toward the center of this place, and judging from this, you also understand a little bit about remembering what Civ said about the reason why this place is called a process. It's because it's where the prisoners were processed. So the biggest road probably leads to whatever fortification was there in which they process the prisoner as they're arriving, which has most likely over the year became wherever the lord of this place resides. And two paths leading out seems to go in two direction to each side. Now, you're not very sure exactly where they go, but you also realize that very quickly these two paths branch off also in the Y shape. And you quickly see this pattern reappearing. Someone made sure that every path never went to a four-way path. It never became a cross. It always is a T or a Y shape. It's too consistent. Someone knew about this. And sometimes it's so obvious. You see this place where the path branch off into a Y, and then it only takes 5 steps before there is another branch leaving out. And you can't help but look at this and say, well, it would have been easier to just make a 4-way corner, not have another branch literally one house away leading in the direction where the fourth one would have been. So there was intention in there to never make a crossroad. An actual cross when you're moving. With this, there are a few things that you probably can notice. Well, following the bigger path would probably leads to other town squares. Meaning that if you want to go where people don't go, don't take the large path. Center seems to be where the process was. So there is a little bit of a two possibilities. It's either where people did not want to go, so this is why they branched out, or where people would feel the safest, because this is where the thickest wall were originally. You'll have to weigh the impact of fear and safety. Which one do you think they would have adopted when they constructed this? This is the biggest dilemma that you have when determining has this city been made. And then another thing that you see is it's a multi-layered city. It feels very much like when the city was created, it was single houses. Then someone built another house. And then someone decided to make another house in front of it. But, far enough so that there would be a path. But then the person living upstairs decided that his house would connect with the house of the person living behind, creating sort of a covered alleyway. And then the houses just started to add to this. And then the third layer was made, and suddenly the stairs to the first layer became alleyways, also leading to possibly sometime a third layer. So there is a three-dimensional element to this, where knowing humans, usually those who live in the shadows are the poorest. And there is very much a contrast from time to time between brightly lit house and 5 step below, just because it's behind a house that there is another one built over it. A very dilapidated house where it feels like death lives there or someone on the verge of it. So, an odd mishmash of how everything functions. You also very much have the feeling that this didn't happen overnight. Something was added. Then in the different generations, something else was added. And then this and this and this. It's something that has been evolving for thousands of years. So this is the thing that you can see, just walking about in the town square, just entering another one of the major paths, looking at where it goes, maybe looking at signs pointing toward next one. Apparently town squares, they sort of have names, although it feels more like you're trying to read the identification plate of a cell block sometime. Oh, the town square going this direction. It's the Sea Pine 73. Well, that's an interesting name. I'm sure it just rolls off the tongue of everyone reading it. But apparently it's how they're used to seeing this. So, this is the image that you have. And time is moving along slowly. You start hearing a little bit less of violent haggles and start seeing a few more children. Apparently there's something done. You even start seeing groups of children being led by usually one or two women, but sometimes it's a male, but maybe half elf. Something that feels easier for children to go toward. Children usually have a better time following and being their attention being drawn to someone with a higher pitched voice, and definitely woman fits that bill. But also, elves have a sometimes a bit more ethered form, so a half elf would fit the bill no matter if it was a male or female. So you also see those. One thing you do not see are dwarves leading those children. So you definitely get the feeling that, okay, a few hours have passed. For Remy, I guess prayer is done and the children can go out. For Zachary, school's out. Well, at least first period.
So Tobiyashi is trying to be the quiet. This is the quietest Tobiyashi has ever been.
Okay.
Not talking or anything. Just observing anything I can.
Well, you mostly observe the same thing as Remy, because I think your passive perception are 1 point away from one another, so you basically see the same thing. He sees it a few seconds before you, and that's probably it. Is there anything in particular that you'd like to focus your attention on? A detail that Remy isn't covering, or something like that?
Where does it look like all the kids are going with the parents? Are they going to the square, or are they going somewhere else?
Well, right now it feels like there is one woman leading a small train of children, all tied together by a single rope, or following a single rope, and that woman, or half-elf, telling them to come along, don't tarry along. Leave him be. Yes, I know, his skin is a weird color, but it's okay, don't worry about it. Come on, children. She was referring to a tiefling with a really odd purplish greenish colored skin. You're really not sure what's the story behind this one, but feels like someone was sick when they burdened him.
And are they going in the direction of the square, or are they going somewhere else?
A lot of them are. Feels like it's a time where a lot of these teachers would take the children to just visit the town, sort of have a bit more of a practical moment where they can learn a few different things. You notice that they stop at shops. Some of them will say, so children, we have 3 fruits here, and each of them cost, and you easily deduce that this is a math lesson.
Okay.
And socialize them a little bit, which is a bit odd. This doesn't happen very often outside. Taking time to socialize the kids. So you get the feeling that this is not something that happens naturally here. But it does work. They get used to people, and some of them laugh when they see a dwarf starting to yell at them with a very strong accent, and then a gnome trying to impress them with a small trinket that just glitters and go poof at the end. And then eventually you see them going back to one of the main arteries and going away. They stay there mostly. Each group probably stays there for maybe half an hour, and they sort of they don't arrive in a swarm. They just don't. Everyone's there and everyone's there. Not okay. They feels like there's some sort of coordination. You see one group arriving, another one, and then 20 minutes later, another one arriving.
Okay. I'll keep following Remy.
All right. While this is happening, we're not going to leave the group and the rest of the group entirely alone for another 45 minutes. Come on.
Meanwhile,
Yeah. Meanwhile, as Jorg and audience are, patiently placing. Oh goodness, that was a warm. That was a bad one. Carefully drying those leaves and tying them up properly, and audience is helping Jorg trying to regulate the fire so they don't dry too fast. And all right, this feels good. This feels good. Fisher, did you teach Terry alone in your room, or did you bunch up with the rest of the group so you'd be together?
I'll bunch up with the rest of them.
All right. So you're in the same room, so it feels a bit more like a family moment where.
Apparently, you're supposed to socialize your kids.
You're not there. You don't know that. So, doing this, trying to teach Terry how to read and write and some in your language, and occasionally answering a question of what are Jorg and audience doing, and why aren't they just eating the plants? Why are they slowly cooking the plants instead? He loves the aroma, and you get the feeling that he can already tell this is going to be used for something from what he tries to write you, as it feels like he already has some knowledge of this, saying, just giving you comments of, this is an interesting mixture. I can perceive things which will be very useful for recovery. Interesting mix. You sort of have the feeling, God damn it, he's just been exposed to it and he's already better at this than me. Damn, what's its intelligence score? And after a little while, you're... who would he call? Well, he'd probably call audience. Your sphere, your communication sphere rings.
Hello, this is audience.
Starting to imitate Sierra. You hear a calm voice in the orbs. I have a few moments. I hope everything's going well with you on your side. I've been running all night.
We're trying to figure out where a library is. Perhaps we can give you the coordinates. If we can figure out where one might be, we can maybe meet you there, since they're further from civilization.
Maybe. I get a feeling that I'm a bit far. I found the river that I saw a bit earlier on, and I kept following it. I'm on the side of a lake right now.
Of the lake.
Yeah.
I would say if you can, keep following the river. It should eventually lead you back to the ocean, which might be.
We have a map.
Do you want me to put it on screen?
I
mean,
yeah.
if he follows the river,
Sorry, Toby.
that
Actually,
he
you're
followed to the
completely
lake.
covered by the map.
Yeah.
Oh,
Back
I
up.
wasn't looking
He'll
at the map.
Go
Look
into
at
the
Too beautiful
mountains.
for everyone, anyways. Don't worry about it.
Oh, could
Is-
go back into the. Well, I was thinking down. Is he going up or down? I wasn't.
Well, if he goes, he came down, right? Because we were at the far
So right,
eastern
you entered the eastern side. Right now,
station,
you're
and then we took
yeah,
the train to the process in the middle.
yeah, the dot with a star.
He got
Yeah.
off in the middle of the train and found that river, which he followed to the lake.
Okay, so he's at the big lake right now.
Yeah.
The center. Got it. Okay.
Okay. All right. Jeez.
Okay. I'll pull out the map and I'll be like, all right. Well, I kind of know where you are. I mean, I have a general sense where you are if you're near the lake.
He'll eventually get to the lake.
We could try and find you over there.
Although we're not really in any shape to get moving yet.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. I sort of need to rest a little bit. The undeads here, they're not like the undeads where we're from. They're so much more resilient. If you ever find yourself out there, don't let yourself be cornered.
All right.
Civ should be meeting us pretty soon. We could send him your way.
All right. Well, if he knows, I've taken refuge in what looks like the ruins of a small village. And judging from how the ruins are made, they really, really didn't survive their last night very well. It was a pretty brutal end.
Any signs or anything you can point to in the village that we could give a name of to him?
No. I mean, I see a lot of wrecked boats, so maybe we're near the deepest edge of this lake, if there is one.
Okay.
I can't see the other side. It's way too long. And for
Are you still
judging from the map, on average, the lake is at least 2 miles wide.
Yeah, it's a big lake.
4 miles wide. Sorry, a dot is
All
2
right.
miles.
Wrecked boats. Got it.
So,
So
are you
maybe
still
deeper.
pretty close to where the river hit the lake?
maybe 5 or 6 hours. The moment
Okay.
we arrive, I started going down, hoping to find some place where the water leaves the river.
Okay. So he's probably on the far side of the lake from us if you went down from the river that was coming from.
I mean, if he goes to the next river and then to the next lake and then to the next river, he'll eventually hit the ocean.
Yeah,
Which
but
would not be helpful.
no. No. I thought, okay, so no, he's on the, got it. I got it. Okay, I'll let Civ know.
Right. I'll try to sleep a little bit here. And hold on. Let me hear something outside. Just you hear this faint sound coming from the orb. Sounds, you can swear it sounds like a woman crying.
Audience thinks to himself, glad that that's him and not me. That's never a good sign.
Oh no, it's Left 4 Dead again. Flashbacks.
Audience is not going to make a noise, though, because he doesn't want to, by accidentally, give away Khan's position if the call is still on.
He starts talking very, very softly. I'm gonna try and go see what this is. If I want to rest, I have to be sure that I'm not in immediate danger. I'll try to contact you again in half an hour if I'm okay.
Alright.
And
And we never heard from him again.
well,
Bye.
especially since I told you what this was.
Yeah, I told him not to go for it. Told us not to do anything. Hide, run.
If you hear moaning, you should hide. No, you should just keep walking. If you hear shuffling, you should hide. If you hear shuffling and moaning, you should run as if your life depended on it, because it most likely does.
Yeah.
Was he not told? Was he not there with us?
I think he was.
Yeah,
I assumed
was he?
was there.
Yeah, but
I thought he was
I mean,
there.
to be fair,
he hasn't slept.
in different contexts. To be fair, in different contexts, like a shuffling moaning could also just be like a really great party.
I mean, can I tell him not to go towards it? Because I mean, I'll be like, be careful.
Yeah.
I would maybe not check. I would just be careful. I can't.
Steer
I'm not.
clear.
Yeah, I would say nothing out there's on your side, so be careful.
Did you call him back?
Oh, did he hang up?
Well, when you said okay, yes, he did.
Well, shit.
Oh,
It makes
I
a
was
noise
saying-
when
I was
the
more
brain's
saying.
dead.
I was more saying. Okay, it's like a process.
Oh, okay.
I would probably say to him, I'd be like, remember what Sim said. Anybody, nothing out there is your friend. Be careful. Get ready. Be ready to run if you have to. Don't try and fight.
Okay, well, in
It
that
might be
case,
better just
we'd just answer.
stay hidden.
Yeah, okay. I guess I'll prepare. Good thing I have a few surprises left.
Yeah. And then I will call Civ. So I'm gonna try and give him his location.
All right.
So I'll call Civ. Also, I should check in with Civ anyway, see if he covered our tracks. So
Wasn't he like on the train and gonna be here in like half an hour when we hung up with him last?
oh wait,
Well, he was going
Yeah,
to
that-
arrive where you are after the first train arrives. So you have a little bit of time to cover before you are caught up with Tobiyashi and Remy. So
I mean, if he's on the train right now, then actually maybe he can like jump off.
well,
Anyway,
he'd
I'm gonna call
probably be very close.
But he could maybe start backtracking. I don't know. I'm gonna call Civ anyway, just to let him know, because I feel like Con needs help more than we do right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, he was gonna meet up with us, and then we were gonna
Yeah, but I'm gonna
talk
at least
to him about.
yeah, I'm gonna at least update him on the information. I guess more so.
All right.
So I'll call Civ just to let him know what Con said.
How long's it been since we talked to him last?
Well, you talked to him last night. He said that he was going to take the first train to the city and be there after. So he's coming in with the first train. Most likely not on the train.
Know why I thought this, but I was pretty sure he was currently on the train and was like almost here.
No, you took the last train of the day, so he had to wait for the first train of the next day.
Didn't we talk to him in the morning?
I thought we talked to him last night. I don't even remember.
I
I
thought
thought
it
we
was
also
night,
talked to
but-
him in the morning.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. I thought we talked to him in the night, and then we
We
called him
talked-
again in the morning
Okay.
last session,
Well,
and
yeah,
he was
in that-
on the train.
In that
and
case,
gonna
he
be like,
was going to be there very soon. So,
yeah,
as you decide to call him, you are also aware that he is most likely going to be arriving in a few minutes.
Well, then I'll just wait.
Okay.
Okay. I thought, I was confused. Okay. No. I remember now. Yes. Okay. I'll just wait for him to get here because he's probably going to be here in like 10 minutes. There's no point to
Yeah.
call him.
It's a good thing because that's what I was going to underline when you were going to call him. He is about ready to arrive. So
Yeah.
it takes like you said, about 10, 15 minutes, between 10 and 15 minutes, and then eventually you just hear something on the roof just go.
Shit, it's a raven.
And then you hear knocking at your window going outside.
I will open it.
Sivs does an impressive display of acrobatic and just jump inside of the room. Well then, at least 3 of you are still alive.
Raimi and Toby are scouting the city while the rest of us recover.
Right. Well, I hope they know what they're doing.
Yeah. I just got a call from Khan. He's apparently at the lake in the center of the map. He says he's at a village near a lot of abandoned, like very ruined village with a lot of boats near it. So maybe the deeper side of the lake. That was all the information he had for us. And I told him to be careful and get ready to run because he said he was going to go check out a moaning, crying woman sound, which you said were bad. So.
Well, there's not a lot I can do from here. I wouldn't have time to reach him before. He'd need to solve this on his own. I hope he remembers what I told him. I'm not sure exactly where he is. Small villages tend to appear and disappear here. If they can't find enough people to fortify themselves, they usually get overrun by the undead at one point or another. So, it is unfortunate, but this is how life evolves here. On a good point, if he keeps following those shorelines and then the river, he will cross a path, maybe in a day or two. And if he takes that path, he will end up in a waypoint or a station. Should at least be safe for a while there.
Hopefully.
I'll have to try and figure out if there's a way I can help him. Could always go back up north, follow the shoreline. He'd find the trail, the railroad. There's always a trail next to each railroad that the maintenance usually takes. It's usually also well traveled. We could probably follow this. He'd have a long bridge to cross, but maybe a little safer than just following the shorelines for this long, especially if grievers are chasing him.
Was there a reason we weren't trying to get him to head this way?
Don't think so.
That he was wanted.
He
Um,
was hitting
And we were in the capital.
And we didn't. So the reason we were trying to find a library outside of the town is because we didn't want him to have to enter the town and be confronted by a guard because he got captured by the crab and we don't know if they communicate.
Right.
So, what next? What else do you need from me for now? I am a guide, but I cannot help you unless you tell me where I need to guide you. Oh, and by the way, and he takes something out from sort of backpack that he has. I believe this should probably be with you, and he gives you the equipment to signal the garden when you have set up at the proper place.
Do you want to toss that in your room, audience?
Yeah, I will do that.
Now then, for now, what do you need me to do?
It might be best for you to meet up with Toby and Rami and help them do some recon. I think we're trying to find a library
Oh, those aren't hard to find.
that is out of the way enough that we can get in and out without being seen.
Nothing outside of the city walls will have survived very well. The undeads can get pretty aggressive at times, and any emplacement which is not properly defended will eventually get overrun. This is why there are so few villages, so few towns everywhere. Only the strongest one, only the most those who have the most resources manage to survive. The others usually eventually get overrun. There is a unsettling amount of ruined village that you'll find in the forests and in plains. So you can go look outside, but they'll usually, if any, be in extremely poor shape. No one will have maintained them, although not a lot of people already do. You'll have more chance with those still within city walls. How well maintained they will be, it depends on if someone was brave enough to actually enter there.
Well, then in that case, I think we should just focus on finding one in the city and finding a way to actually get in there without being seen.
Well, when
That's
the time comes to find a way to get inside of out of bound buildings, I usually go where there are a lot of children. They seem to have a knack for finding holes that others have not thought of. Especially children in their teens.
mm-hmm. Yeah, it'd probably be best if you caught up with Rami and Toby and helped them out with that. We're kind of stuck here, recovering for now.
Yeah.
All right.
Audience and I got hit pretty hard.
Yeah.
Well, it could have been hit worse. I've seen people die from these crabs. At least you survived it. And that is something to be proud of. Alright.
Yay.
I guess if you decide to go outside, I'll give the same message to Tobiyashi and Remy when I meet them. Be mindful of a specific Mar E unit. Mar E0972. He is an awakened construct, and he enjoys being the butcher of the sorcerer.
A butcher of the sorcerer.
Good thing I'm not a sorcerer then.
I think it's
No,
for
not
the
a
sorcerer,
butcher
not of sorcerer.
of sorcerer. A butcher for.
Oh,
He
that's worse.
Yeah.
He enjoys making sure everyone respects authority, respects him, and if you do not, he will find pleasure in breaking you.
Honestly speaking, how easy would it be for us to take him out of the equation?
If you do not mind losing half of your party, you could do it right now.
If we do mind it, we can do it later.
Which half? No.
Wow, okay.
Like I've said previously, audience has a tier list, and
Okay, all right.
He's like S tier myself, A tier.
He will go for the strongest of you if you engage him. He will not only try to kill you, he will try to break you first. And then kill you.
All right. So
everybody
better
get out your
to avoid
vague
him.
impressions.
Better to avoid him than try and take him out. Got it.
For the rest, it is always better to avoid the enforcers. But he will make a point of finding you again, of hunting you, of making sure you never feel safe sleeping.
Okay.
Just like my ex-wife. No, just I'm kidding.
We're getting into
Good
dangerous territory here.
So what was his number again? It was. Does he like have any distinguishing like features so we
Zero.
can know besides just his
972.
number? 0972. Yeah. Does he have any distinguishing features that we can like kind of differentiate him from the other Maris?
Well, right from
Or
the
if they all
start,
kinda
he
mate
is
the
a
same.
he is a Mar-E, so he is well maintained. Very easy to differentiate from the male-E's. He is very well maintained. His symbiote is of a very bright red color with a slight orange glimmer in it. Because he is aware, he walks with... He looks at you, audience, for a moment. Well, I'd say any temper you would associate with a red dragon.
Oh, okay.
Confidence.
Yep, I know exactly what he's talking about.
A real cock of the walk.
A cock of the walk. All right, we'll keep that in mind. Thank you. Cut back to Remy and Toby as they walk towards a cocky of the walk, walking Marty.
Well, what do we have here? Oh, shit.
Well, I guess that was half the party he was talking about. Now.
Oh wait, that would mean though that that half of the party has at least one of the strongest members.
I assume most of the Mar-E units are not awakened.
Most construct are not. But some are. Usually they try to remove themselves from this when they do. But some of them have only known this for so long that for them it feels normal. But none of them enjoys it as much as he does.
Yeah. Weirdo.
None of them make a point of finding your weakness, of finding what would tear you inside, from the inside, to rip out of you, of your life. If you don't want to hear the screams of someone you know, it is better to try and avoid them. Fisher, this does ring a memory inside of you. The only one who recognized one of the screams from the moments of the futures. He will make a point of it. He will try and find a way to make it happen. But usually, those who have awakened go insane. Those who don't
Damn.
are hunted, thinking they are insane.
He's gone cyber psycho.
It is one of the consequences of waking up, realizing you've been butchering people for someone for hundreds, if not thousands of years.
I don't blame them.
You'll have better chance with the construct not being enforcers. Some of them are very happy helping people around. They enjoy their life. They enjoy fishing, carrying stuff around, watching over children. Some of them do, even after having awakened. But in general, I'd advise to seek friendship from non-enforcers.
Makes sense. Not that I was going to seek friendship from any of the sorcerers people.
Now then, I will do my best to find Tobiyashi and Remy before they find trouble. 0972 spend most of his time in process, but there are 2 active process. So you might never meet him. Might actually be a good thing if you never do. But it would be better if they knew about it. And he goes to the window, waits for a moment, see if you're going to add anything.
We'll be here. Bye. No.
Cooking potions.
He does the Batman crouch, like right at the window seal.
He does have a cloak, so for some reason he jumps, spreading his arm like this, and the cloak just goes. All right. Jumping in time to where Tobiyashi and Remy are, trying to figure out the layout of this city, trying to figure out, okay, so this leads to another town square, and here we have a road, which no one took to leave this place, so it might be interesting to see what's there. So Remy encouraged Tobiyashi to follow him, and you have this moment of feeling like there is a crow watching you. You just hear this moment of from one of the rooftop, and moments later, damn, it's a big crow. But just as you're arriving near the corner of a small alley, you have this moment of fear that strikes you and goes up your spine when you see this enforcer looking person just moving out of this alley and turning in your direction. But then you recognize the blue glimmer of Krill from inside of the joints of this enforcer looking being. You even have this moment of, well, he does have the letter C, capital C, and normal I, normal V carved in his body. It's not far off from what we see from others. But you're reassured by the fact that it is him and he is moving toward you. I see you have not picked up anyone too bothersome. And he turns around and looks behind you, and you notice two children just looking in your direction, just going, scattering.
I nod.
Like little cockroaches.
Yeah. Remember, children in this city learn very early on to be very sneaky.
I will. I'll point to Raimi, make the walking motion with my fingers, so kind of just like, and then do a book motion, kind of like I'm opening a book, and then I close it and put it up on a shelf.
Maybe just blinks for a moment, feeling like it's like Tobias stealing his bit.
That's definitely what I'm doing. I've been with Rami too long.
So, I guess you want to go borrow a book. Well, it's definitely not gonna make you popular in this process, but if this is actually where you want to go, you're not going the right way, but it is not too far off in that direction. And he points toward an alley, a small alley.
I'll say something. We're looking for one near the outskirts of town. Probably not more on the general population, but we were just looking for the place, trying to find some information on how people act and go around this town, basically, and bring it back. We weren't actually trying to go to the library itself.
Well, visiting town squares are definitely one of the better way of learning how everyone lives. I would check on your purses from time to time. You have to remember, a lot of these people come from very illustrious lines of thieves. Some of these traditions have been maintained for thousands of years. And some of them actually learned to do this nearly at the same time as they learned to walk.
I'll check my coin purse.
It's not there anymore. No, it's still there.
Oh, shit. They took it all.
In general, you'll find that life is very similar here than everywhere else. The only difference is the layout of the city and how careful everyone is about what they say, when they say it, and who they say it to. It's easy to draw attention on someone you do not like. But if you're not careful, it's also easy to redirect that same attention toward you and have you be in trouble.
So, Civ,
Yes.
I kind of look around, seeing if anybody's listening to us. I think we can go back now. But we do have a map. Would you be able to draw us or help us draw a map of the city and where everything is that you know of? Like, I look around again. Those places, the libraries, stuff like that.
Sivs takes a moment, and your dungeon master tells you, "I can give you one next episode, an actual
Okay.
one."
Well, yeah, no, that's fine. I'm just asking him like in game,
Okay.
if he can.
Like I said, Civ takes a moment, and I can probably find a place where a corner of a street where a map has been mostly abandoned. The more lived-in region of the process change over time. I'm sure there is an old abandoned town square, which will most likely lively up again in a decade or so, which for now has been mostly abandoned, and no one will notice if I just take a map from one of the walls.
I look over to Remy, I'm speaking quietly this whole time. Unless Remy has anything else he wants to go observe or check out, I think we could do that and just go back. Waiting for a response from Remy. If he keeps walking or not, or trying to say something.
You know, he just keeps twisting around, and then you realize he wants to pee. No, sorry. Sorry, go ahead.
I think, since I think it would at least be good to look before heading back. But Ramey's like looking off in the direction that Civ had pointed out in reference to the library, the alleyway, rather.
Well,
All right.
if you want one that is as close as possible to one of the city wall, there's another one. I think it actually shares a wall with the boundaries of the city. You'd have to get through a pretty lively part of the city to get there, but once you're through it, I think you'd be very isolated. Maybe that one would be better.
I just look over. I mean, like,
Because I didn't know if there was going to be more to that.
no, just
Ramey thinks on that, thinking on calm, thinking on not gathering too much attention, puts up the okay sign.
Very well. I think then if Mr. Tobiashi's suggestion is the one that is going to be I forgot the word, sorry. Followed. I guess we could all go back to your inn. I believe 2 of your members are cooking something.
Yeah, that's what they've been working on. Does that sound good, Remy, or do you want to go scope the area out? If not, you could just go back. Another okay.
I think the way he would put it is
Okay.
We need music for this. don't
yeah.
we?
I think. Sorry. I was just like thinking about it's like how he would put it specifically.
Okay.
But it's just like but this seems fun enough. It's like he just like pipes up in like a gruff voice, like the cat eats the lone rat.
Not the
Cat
cats
needs
I've
the lone
seen,
rat.
but I understand what you're trying to say.
Okay, I follow. Didn't understand at all, but I follow what everybody else does.
All right. Well, Civ is your guide, so you will always just answer your question and help you go where you want to go. So
And then once again, you just like turn your head and like Batman disappears.
damn, I wanted him to take us with.
Where's our fast travel?
I know. I'm just like, lead the way, Remy.
All right. So, if I understand correctly, Remy would decide to follow Tobiashi's advice and go back to.
But yeah, it's like you said.
Just want to make sure.
The cat eats the lone rat.
All right.
I just wanted to make sure. All right.
I try not to make my phrases too obtuse. Sometimes they just like
No.
one layer of thinking.
Yeah, no. Don't worry about it. All right, so this all means that probably toward the midday, probably evening, Tobiashi, Remy would, yes,
Right before we walk through the door,
yes.
I unchanged from the black everything and then go back to what I was looking like to before when I walked in the first time. So just regular with the pink silk.
Just pulls his pink pen back out real quick.
Pulls my silk back up, takes off the hood.
Use a pink
Dissipates
marker and
it.
just.
Well, as we're walking back, I know it takes a while, like 10 minutes. So as we're walking up to the door.
Well, I was gonna say, are you doing this while you're walking in the alleys, or literally just as you're trying to finish this as you're arriving?
Just as we're arriving.
Then in that case, as you're walking and you're doing this slowly, and you're almost at the end, you see the door, and last bits of color are starting to go back inside of your cloth. The last elements are unsummoned, and everything goes back to normal. And just as you're about to arrive, you probably hear the one thing you never want to hear when you're in the city. You hear a child voice go, "It's like magic." You look behind and you see a child pointing in your direction.
I hit him 6 times in the head.
And then you just hear like the sound of rusty metal as Ramy's head just starts turning toward him.
We ignore it.
You hear the kid go, Mom, look! He's doing magic tricks!"
Right the first time he says "Mom," I try to hide.
Well, roll in case you get a 1. It's a child. He's
Okay.
not going to have an incredibly high passive perception.
22, 16 plus 6.
All right. Well, Remy, you have this moment of, I'm proud of Tobiyashi, and then you hear the kid go, he just disappeared! Just like magic! What do you think his name is? I want to see more, Mom!
Very, very quickly, just like if there is a mom suddenly like looking in his direction, Raimi is just going to very quickly, like pull out some copper coins and start doing like basic magician's tricks.
Okay,
It's like basically like making the coin disappear and then making the coin reappear with like a careful sleight of hand.
funny enough, that specific spell in past edition was called cantrip.
I'm aware it's something you can literally do with prestidigitation, but Raimi right now is trying to do it in real life.
All right. I won't ask you to make a sleight of hand check with this. Well, maybe if you want, just because you know that something might happen. But
yeah, I mean, just it'd be funny if it happens, but okay, it didn't happen.
Okay.
Although for anyone who was curious on the roll, it was a 19 on the die.
Damn, you're incredible. It feels like magic. It's not just one coin. You just take 5 coin, split into 2 hands, and just go. And the coins are gone. And then suddenly, you see all the coins just go. And you catch them all up. Make a deception roll because you're trying to pass for someone who is doing magic.
I think he's specifically trying to pass for someone that's not doing magic.
No, who's doing?
Yeah.
Who's
You were
doing?
He's trying to make it
Yeah.
obvious that he's practicing sleight of hand magic so that they don't think it's actual magic that Toby was doing.
No. I mean, the reason why I'm asking for deception is because he's trying to make it feel like the child was looking at magic, but the mother will see, oh, it's just...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Looking at a 15.
Total?
I only have a +5 to deception.
Damn, okay.
Look, I can't be an expert in everything.
Mm-hmm.
She looks at you for a moment and... Come on, dear. It's better not to stay too close to those people. You got a feeling that, yeah, she sort of believes it, but she's also not completely convinced. She rolled a 16. So, you convinced her that you're really good. You just didn't completely convince her that you're the one that his child was talking about.
Well, the point is that not getting any Mari units over here. So.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, I think you succeeded. Mostly. Alright.
I wait till they
suddenly
leave and then come back
the
at us
rusty
with the...
metal sound comes back as Raimi just like turns his
Poor
head.
Tobiyashi.
I'm just like hiding behind a barrel. I'm just like... And then I try to enter the doorway as fast as I can.
You're hearing this child, and probably from the second floor, Jorgen audience and Fisher, you're hearing this child screaming in the road, "But he changed color, Mommy! I saw it! It wasn't coins! Come on! Stop it, I said!" And then you hear a sound that sounds a whole lot like someone being slapped. "But Mommy!" I think audience fell asleep.
Like actually.
He might
No.
actually have. I think this means it's a good moment to take a break. I think audience needs a moment. Maybe get up, get some blood flowing, go to the bathroom. Alright, so... Hey, Valenvy's here, so why not make sure that she has her ducks? Daily dose of ducks. That's always good.
Daily dose of ducks.
DDD. Alright, so... We're going to be back in 15 minutes. And hopefully, audience will be fully awake. See you in 15 minutes. Bye.
Bye.
And we're back! Alright. The ducks can go sleep. And here we go. So,
The ducks will never fall asleep.
no,
They
you're
quack through
right.
the night.
Because all I have to do is ask them and... Ducks!
Ducks.
They're back!
You can summon the ducks.
I am the god of ducks. Fear me. If you anger me, I will send ducks after you. And ducks are vicious, you'll see.
TPK by duck.
I'm always afraid of being stalked by Darkwing Duck,
Ooh,
or
it's
being
been a
on the
while.
wrong end of the blaster of Duck Dodgers.
Man, it's been a while since I heard those names. Alright, so. Yes. Everyone getting back together at the inn. As Tobiyashi, like I said before the break, Jorg, audience, and Fisher were probably hearing from the street that kid screaming, but I saw it, he was changing color. Mommy, it was not coins. The guy was turning pink. And then you think you hear someone slapping someone and then the child crying and just keep yelling, I'm not lying.
Slap him again.
No, come on. I'm already taking a risk by saying this. I'm not gonna do it 5 times over. Alright, so. And for those of you out there, I don't believe in hitting kids. Just as a disclaimer. I don't subscribe to hitting kids. Teenagers, that's another thing. No, I mean...
I don't subscribe. I love that.
Alright, so... yes, entering the inn. So now Remy turns slowly toward Tobiyashi, who just goes... "Ah," as you're all entering, and probably going back, walking awkwardly through the inn, as everyone's looking in your direction, because, you know, people recognize that someone was talking about those just entering. I'm not sure what it's all about, but, you know, you're pink. So, yeah, no, there's nothing wrong there, but something definitely happened outside. So you have this moment of awkward walk where everyone's just staring at you. Then Remy turns toward you and says, now you know how I feel. So, you get back to your headquarters. I believe it's Jorg and audience's room, as the aroma of cooking leaves
Delicious.
of leaves
Like a
drying.
tea.
Sage in there.
I don't know.
Smells like
I honestly haven't thought about which plant it was because I've been making this document for 2 months and I don't want to start thinking about which world plant I should be using. For your information, Jorg, the document is finished. There's a little bit of information missing, like plants, the cost of plants if you want to buy them, the foraging time, the brewing time. Well, no, brewing time I've done. Success DC, a number of those that each one does. But everything has been done. So you have the descriptions, a name that really isn't fantastic, so it's really just a working name for each of the brews. There are 24 in total. And I'll send it to you as soon as I'm done. It's a 10-page document.
Whew,
Dang.
damn.
Holy.
Like I said, there's 24 different brews in there.
Damn. Whew.
And like I said, it's a bit of an equivalent of, well, not an equivalent, but on the same level as learning the ritual casting feat, but with plants. So it's not something that's extremely powerful. There's a lot of utilities in there, but not something that's going to help you kill a monster. Not a lot, anyway.
Yeah,
And
that's more what I got it for.
you'll probably also going to be able to make fun of some of your friends by poisoning them and so on. So, but I would suggest not to do it too often because they'll figure out it's you. All right, so as you arrive in, you all smell the aromas of drying leaves as Jorg and audience are finishing to prepare this tea, who will most likely be ready in a few more hours, just in time for supper, you know. Have a nice meal for the end of the day, good berry with a nice tea. So for you,
Yeah.
Jorg and audience, you're more than halfway through the process. I don't know why I just keep saying Jorg and Tobiyashi. I'm
It's
used to
'cause
having
it's
the two of
usually-
them.
It's
together.
just usually
me and him. Like, when I heard you say it the first time, I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, you missed all the very conflictual conversations me and Jerk had around my religion during this time.
And so as you're arriving, you just hear audience go, but you know, it's so much better. There are nature dragons also. And you have Terry looking at Fisher, and you see the old bunch of star appearing, and he just says, "He never lets go, doesn't he?"
No, at this point, good
Point.
arguments are out the window. You just walk in. I was just like, why do you hate me and everything I care about?
And then Terry turns toward Fisher. He never lets go, does he? Same comment, but for Jorg.
We don't hate everything you care about. We just think you're wrong.
Yeah.
What an awkward moment.
That's why I wasn't there for it. We walked through the door now.
An audience overturns the potion pots and Jerk head. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Not all the time.
It's for you.
Yeah, I know.
Uh-huh.
He just takes it all and then shoves it. All right. So finally, audience, Remy arrives at your rescue to talk about the dragons.
Does Jorg just like push audience in Ramy's direction?
Just like, take him back.
I'm good. I spent my first whole day with him. You can have him back now.
Oh wait, hold on. It's like a honestly, I think it's like a friend exchange. Just like Rami pushes Tobiyashi onto Jorg, and Jorg pushes audience onto Rami.
And then Fisher remains alone with his worm.
Did you get them open? You want more tea to go with them? Where's your cup?
As always, Sam. Say hi to your mom.
Anyways.
Gonna say hi to your mom.
No,
More
but
power to
it
you.
was perfect. You know, she was talking about tea. It's exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
Like she knew.
Yeah.
Is she watching the stream?
Maybe.
Let's go.
All right.
All right, what'd you guys find?
We found a lot. We were kind of just studying people for a while. We've seen how the infrastructure of kind of like the whole city works. Well, most of the city. It was weird because it would go into like crossroads. There wasn't a four-way crossroad. It would either end up in a T or a Y. We found some other things, kind of like the way that the town was built up into 3 stories, and kind of guessing on how old. It seemed like the bottom ones were older than the middle ones or the topper ones. It's kind of weird how they kind of built them on top of each other. We were on our way to look for the place we were looking for, and as we were looking, Civ came up on us, and we kind of just thought Civ could most likely draw us a map of this place. We could know exactly where everything is, so we don't have to go searching or looking around. So we came back because there was no need for us to actually go. He said that there's one kind of on the outskirts of town, and we started to head back. As we were heading back, I decided to change back into because I kind of changed what I looked like at the beginning. Like to kind of hide my identity. Everyone was wearing kind of like darker clothes and stuff, so I decided to dress up like that a little bit. And then as we were getting back, I decided to change back into what I was wearing before, so I don't look so suspicious walking into the tavern. This kid might have seen me, but I hid, and Remy covered it up, so you don't have to worry about that. And
His eyes twitching.
and that's pretty much what we could find, and until Civ came.
Which, by the way, as you were walking back, he did share everything he said with audience and Jorg about Mar E00972.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Just like-
yeah,
I didn't know if I was.
I was
gonna have to
covering
wait
the
on that,
general.
or-
I was covering the
Anything
general. Okay.
I feel like we can just avoid it for now.
My heart's still racing from hiding from that child.
It seems
Okay.
like children are the most dangerous things here so far.
Sure.
Like to expose us to the things that will kill us. It's like the second one that's
I mean, like, I don't feel like kids are any more likely to,
just keep being nosy.
like, if you're doing something. in
Oh, there was a
public,
mother too.
I
The kid told the mother, and it's at least what I heard.
okay.
So we don't know. You know, it could. It's a child.
So from inside of you, Fisher, you hear, "Great! So now the jittery one might have compromised our safe house."
Did they seem like, did the mom seem to believe it? or be worried.
All I did was I was hiding behind a barrel. I couldn't see what she looked like or what was going on. Maybe Remy saw. He did. I was looking at him. He did some coin tricks. That's pretty much all I seen, and then heard a slap and for the kid to go over there.
Okay. 'Cause, like, are we gonna need to move?
I didn't think about that. I just got back from this. Okay, I tried to hide the best I could. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you could just next time don't do stuff like that where other people can see it.
Okay. All right.
It's Raimi's going to minor illusion the image of the mother. Then he's going to point to himself in Tobiyashi and speak in in a gruff voice, hey, want to do that 2-man trick? And then points to the head of the image of the mother.
I'm not there in any way. I
So
can't
you-
help you.
You saying you covered for him?
Does the so-so motion.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay. Well,
I mean, we could move for safety, but just getting up.
also, yeah, but if we don't need to moving will put us in more danger.
I don't think we need to move from this, if I have to voice my opinion.
I mean, I could change the color of my silks. I could go to white.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have to be pink.
I don't think
Yeah.
I don't even think it'll be reported. I don't think it'll be huge.
No, I
Uh-huh.
think we're pretty much.
As you're all watching one another awkwardly for a few moments, just realizing, yeah, we're talking about this now for 10 minutes. So, what's been happening for the rest of the day? You still
Do you
have
guys
half a
feel
day.
better from the drink? How exhausted are you guys now?
I don't know, DM. How exhausted are we?
I thought they
Well,
had to
have we-
drink it and then go to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we
we
drink it and go to
Oh.
bed, we'll be
Yeah.
good.
Once we
we-
go to
You
bed.
still
Okay, but
have
we still
you
got
still
half
have
our
2
day.
points of exhaustion, audience and Fisher.
Yeah.
In answer to your question, I am still very tired.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
made
'cause
enough for
Sluggish
4
even.
You guys
people.
haven't drank it yet. So, one for tonight, one for tomorrow, because it's one level of exhaustion.
Well, when you sleep 8 hours, you lose 1 point of exhaustion. The tea allows you to lose a second point of exhaustion.
So I'll,
So I'll
just
be good by
store the
tomorrow.
rest in some vials.
Yeah, we might run into that crab again. We don't know. We might have to fight it again, so it could be good to have for the future.
I'm not sure Remy's gonna be with you if you have to fight another crab.
Yeah, let's not fight another crab.
Well, it depends on how many Guardians
That's
Sphere are
worst
with
case
the crab.
scenario, guys. Yeah, that's
My
worst-
mission is to kill every crab on this continent now. It's a side mission.
Yeah, that's
For the dragon!
We actually turn to the next level
Alright.
on this island. That's how long we take.
that's.
Hmm.
Hey, we might. Oh, on this specific island, not.
Yeah.
All right. So, how do you
I'm
want
just gonna
to? Yeah, go ahead.
keep teaching Terry Common.
Okay. So, for the rest of the day, Jorg and audience, you finish cooking this up. Tobiyashi and Remy keep on going.
I'm gonna practice hand signals with Remy so he could teach me thieves. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. I guess I'm not sure what I actually want to do for the rest of the day.
So what I'm,
Don't wanna
what
go
I'm
outside.
understanding is that you want your next level to be a level in Rogue?
Yeah.
Our
Triple class?
potions. Are potions associated with like magic?
This one is a basic level one, so no, it's a natural concoction.
So if I go out looking for potion ingredients or buying some, I won't get like people won't look at me weird.
Not for entry-level potions like this.
Okay.
You have... There are 9 potions, brews. They're separated in tea, brews, ointment, and and incense. So the first one are all natural elements. It's really just your extensive knowledge of nature, how everything works, that allows you to make these near magical elements, but not actually magical. Most of these things really exist today. Well, except the ability to see the invisible things. That's usually something else. But
Yeah.
when you enter into the second level, the enhanced concoction, it's usually there that magic comes. It's more of your knowledge of how to push out magical properties in normal plants, either in the way that you prepare them or harvest them. You know, it's not the same thing if you gather mistletoe with a tweezer and then if you gather it with a silver sickle, example. And finally, the magical concoction level, it's literally you're using magical plants. Plants that have innate magical abilities that you do not need to draw out, but you draw even more out using your magical knowledge. And so this is why they're also a level minimum between each, but you're high level enough now that you can perform all of them.
Cool.
All right, so what does Tobiyashi and Remy do for the rest of the evening?
Remy, you go first. Who gotta think?
Let's say I thought you already had an idea, but
I did. I had no idea what to do. That was all improv, people. I know it's weird to hear it, but
That's okay. We understand. Just don't do it too often. But no, I'm kidding.
stick to the script. Stick to the script.
although one thing that Raimi is going to do, at the very not really like an activity this thing, it's more of like a just in case kind of thing. Raimi is going to bid audience to go back into the dimensional storage, and he is going to return from it with a hooded lantern.
Okay. One of the normal
And
ones?
he is going to present it to the party.
Okay.
What was that for? Don't you have one?
Raimi nods, but then he points at you, then he points at audience, then he points at Tobiyashi, then he points at Jorg.
But
So
I
we
have
should all get one.
I have my mace.
Is that? Audience.
We have magical sources of light that we use.
Well, I don't have any sources of light that I use other than a torch, but
You're saying we should grab some non-magical sources so we can still see without drawing attention to ourselves.
Raimi nods.
What if I put my mace in a hooded lantern?
no.
And then I can still hit people with it.
I grabbed the lantern. I grabbed the lantern from Remy.
That is...
I want to see audience now just putting a rag over the head of his mace and saying, "See, it's a lantern now."
I was thinking more like a box. The cutting slats in the box.
I mean,
A homemade
Yeah, I could-
lantern.
along those lines, I still need a lantern, I guess, so there's no real point to...
Yeah, would need one.
Do I still have torches, or did I get rid of those because I had light? Let me check.
I have torches.
I have
some
torches
I
too.
think I've got
I
some.
do.
But walking around
Is-
town with torches,
It will draw a
Druidic.
little bit of attention, not a lot, but a little bit.
As opposed to a
Yeah.
lantern.
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyways,
I
you
feel
know
I
that
guess we
there are
could go get
lamp.
some more lanterns.
You know that there are lampposts in this city.
Uh-huh.
Just steal a lantern.
I have
with the
10
lamppost.
torches. Oh my lord. Where am I carrying all these torches?
I
Anyways.
have. I also have 10.
Let's just say that from afar, you won't stick out too much using a torch. Because it will feel like you're just using a source of light. But if someone comes closer to you, there is going to be an obvious question of, why are you using a torch? Use a lantern.
Well, I used. Okay, so I took the lantern. What is it? Just how long does the lantern work for? Like, can we just turn it off and back on? Is there like a certain time limit? Oh, die.
Yeah, sorry.
Like
Pretty good.
if you use a flask of oil, which this party should have plenty of right now,
Mhm.
it is it can give you up to like 6 hours of light.
And then you could stop it after you use it the first time, or do you have to keep using it?
No, most
Well, you
lantern you can just shut off.
Just stop. Okay. All right. That's it.
You need a source of fire to ignite it.
Shit.
But after
Anyone
that,
got a lighter? No, sorry. A tinder
Do
box. That should be fun.
You have a
I
tinder
probably
box.
have a tinderbox.
Yeah.
It seems like just something everyone should have.
It's like unless you guys were lighting your torches with clapping
Cantrips.
motions, you guys should have tinder boxes.
Yeah. Yeah, I got.
I want to see audience light up a torch by rubbing it on its chin. Yeah.
Yes, even I have a tinder box. That's just because I can't aim firebolt for shit.
Yeah, like the gnome said in the music. All right, so
We can go out and get some lanterns.
We don't all have one. Wait, how many do we have in
I
the
don't know if we
snow
need
storage?
everybody to. Can your Rami? Can your lantern work? Is just like a normal lantern?
can, but you've never used it like that.
Oh, I thought we just had a bunch of lanterns in the dimensional storage. That's what I
No.
was-
No, that's just a lantern that I was keeping in there because
Oh.
I already had a very good lantern and didn't need to be carrying around two.
Well, that's okay.
But-
One of you can carry a lantern and just give it to the person who is less efficient in combat. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah,
Sorry.
Although in fairness, like at the very least with Raimi's lantern, it's like like apart from like being a bit more ornate, it's like I don't think there's like anything like too suspicious about the light that it makes.
No, visually speaking, no. It really does look like it does feel like it's a bit more prestigious than an average lantern, but from afar, unless someone used detect magic, no, they won't see the difference.
Yeah, so effectively the party does have two lanterns. So if you guys feel like you need one more, I guess you guys could go out and buy one. But it's like I really hope that we're not splitting three ways in the dark.
I think,
Mhm.
The
I think
party.
we'll be good with just two.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that settled, evening comes. The sun.
I'll just meditate, I guess.
The sun starts to set, and 5 hours late, audience, your orb rings.
I pick it up. Hello.
They just don't give up. I think I lost it.
Was running the right call.
It's calm talking to you. Man,
Oh man.
they just don't go down. That creature.
Have you tried holy energy?
It was a machine.
Oh,
Mm.
I just kept hitting it, and it would just keep coming and coming and coming. I think
Is
I lost
a
it.
zombie or is it something else?
He said it was made out of metal
you lost it. Oh,
Yeah.
machine.
So
are
like
you still
that's
are
not
you still by the
zombie.
lake, or have you
A zombie
left
machine?
the lake?
I was thinking that maybe they had like weird fucking automaton
Yeah, I
zombies.
I managed to lose it for a few minutes, and I took one of the boat, and I used a bit of what I had remaining, and I repaired the bottom of it. Figured that it wouldn't be able to swim.
Can it swim?
Apparently not. It just stayed there on the shore.
You could try crossing to the other side.
I
If you have
can't
a
see
boat.
the other side. It's getting light. I can barely see the shore. I'm just hoping there's no undead living in the lake.
Civ, is there any undead living in the lake?
Not the last time that I was there, but many things can change.
He's dead. He's dead. He's dead.
Civ said last time he was there weren't any undead living in the lake, so the lake might be safer.
You hear Civ say, just make sure to avoid fog cloud, which seems to be electrified.
Civ says to avoid fog clouds because they're electrified.
Ah,
I'm going in the fog. Right? I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
good lord. Is there a place where you can just rest?
Oh, did we? tell them
Where
to
we are is
follow
pretty nice.
The
Shut up.
waterfront. Did we already tell him to follow the waterfront?
I think he's trying to survive right now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
So
but
if you
like
go back over,
like, if he
he'll
follows the
that's how you
waterfront.
survive, right?
Yeah.
Is you go to a safe place.
Yeah.
Follows the waterfront.
Go
He'll
up
Oh, I
north?
guess you have a point. I think there's a little bit of current. Maybe if I just let it carry the boat that I'm on, hoping it lasts the night.
Yeah.
Where'd you get
I
a
mean, well,
boat?
if you repaired
You'll have
it,
a paddle.
do you have any way to steer the boat?
Yeah, I can figure something out.
Yeah. I've heard guns can be used as oars sometimes. It's not called a gun. Whatever it's called. Arcane crossbow. Could use that as like as an oar, a single paddle maybe. Helps kind of turn your boat.
Or lay in it and pretend you're dead.
I don't think
Hopefully
that helps
people
from
see you.
electric clouds.
True, but from like zombies or something.
Yes, because it's known if you play dead in front of a zombie, it won't eat you.
Well, I mean, just don't get spotted.
You could try playing like
quiet.
another zombie in front of it, and maybe it'll think you're
Guys, I
also a
don't think
zombie.
this is helping.
You guys have been
No.
reading too many books, guys. You guys have been reading too. We should have never gave you that book collection. I think it was Goosebumps, something like that. I don't know.
Alright, well, I'll try to not fall asleep in a bad
Okay.
place.
Try not to die. Welcome.
It does
Can't
feel
head north.
quiet here.
You know, like
Again,
I used to
we'll
read
keep
in old
trying
books.
to. We'll
Um,
we'll keep in contact. We should be rested after tonight, so perhaps we can come and pick you up. or
Stay
help.
vigilant. I've read before. This is the calm before the storm, so you know. If anything, don't let your guard down. All right, bye.
I think he's in the storm. We're in the calm. Anyway,
He said he didn't hear anything.
This is just the eye of the storm.
Thanks. You really help a lot with the motivational speech. This is
Don't
why
worry about
I
it.
think audience is the one speaking for you.
Probably.
He helped with that. What?
all right. Stay vigilant. Stay safe. We'll be good in the morning to travel. So we'll contact you again in the morning, see where you're at, what's going on, and maybe we can start working out a plan to come pick you up.
Alright, well, we'll see where we are. think you said that the lake led to a river that led to another lake that led to the ocean. So hopefully I
Yeah.
won't be in the ocean tomorrow.
Wait, I thought we didn't want to do that.
I just wanted him to get away from zombies so he can sleep.
Yeah, we can catch another train if we have to.
Yeah. All right. I'll talk to you in the morning. Bye.
Good luck.
Bye.
I don't know why I just see
See ya
Colin.
tomorrow.
I just see Colin in the boat. And, please don't leave me alone. Oh, okay. They're already hanging out.
I mean, there's nothing we can do for him. He's kind of on his own on this one.
Fortunately,
He could write his own book if he survives.
Fortunately, he's higher level than you.
He's in the lake. I'm sure there are no lake monsters. He'll be fine.
No, it's just carnivorous fog. So,
Yeah.
NBT.
You can go pick him up in the morning. How hard can it be?
yeah,
I'm kidding.
rigor mortis.
Whoa.
So, the evening goes by, and you finally get the chance to try Jorg's new concoction, which he made enough for everyone, even Fisher, which you're not sure how it's gonna work, but you have confidence that it is going to work. After all, he is partly plant, so he's probably not gonna think he's eating one of his own or drinking the juice of one of his own. But just don't tell him about this.
I'm sure he's aware that he eats plant. It's more like eating a pig or something for a human, though.
Technically, aren't all machines carnivorous? Because oil is a part of all machines, and they need oil to. I don't know. Never mind. Separate. Let's move on.
Not important.
Yeah.
So-
if oil is
Nice lesson to you.
machine blood, but we don't get it
Not
from
important.
machines.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Not important. All right. So, from what? Oh yeah. Oh, I thought that I had written a longer description of how it sends, but how it smells. So this concoction has a slight herbal aroma. Oh, that's very helpful. Sorry. I was hoping for something more elaborate, but some of them they just taste like grass. So you serve everyone a good cup. Everyone drinks their tea, and you immediately feel something a little soothing in this. It relaxes. You feel like, it's going to be a good night of sleep. Yeah. It's going to help a lot. All feel ready to go back to sleep. Jorg and audience in one room, Tobiyashi and Remy in another room. Then Fisher gets to decide in which two of the two rooms he can go in.
Uh, We'll go with Jorg and
But-
Toby. Is that how it was split?
No, it was me.
No.
and Remy.
No, it is.
That's how I assumed it was split.
Yeah.
Well, unless you
See?
want
See? It even goes to them.
unless you want to change partners, But
Who did I go with last time?
Audience and Jorg.
probably.
Yeah, I think it was
Okay.
audience.
Yeah, I'll do that again.
All
I
right.
thought it was audience and Toby
Damn.
because he was my grandson.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
It's audience and Tobiyashi and Jorg and Remy.
It's just backwards. We're just so confused.
Yeah. All right. So, you want to go with audience or Remy?
I'll go with Jorg and Remy.
All right. So now you find yourself in the room with the nature lover, the avian. I wanted to say something else, but I can't. All right. Your bird friend. And feels like a very naturey theme in this room right now. All that's missing is the tree. So.
Oh, yeah, we're definitely not bringing that guy out. Sorry.
Well,
Oh, what are you talking about? You don't like that'll be perfectly normal.
Yeah.
in the city, he's gonna blend
Those all
in.
the
No one's gonna notice. Everyone sees that walking down the street. It's just like living Christmas.
Yeah, we just have to dress him up like a kid.
Kid with a big head. So night comes, and maybe because of the tea, or maybe because you had full days, it feels a bit soothing this time. A little bit less panicked, a bit less of a problematic place where you might have decided to stay. You know that the person that brought you here is not going to arrive in the middle of the night and try to kill you because he has a dark deal with the innkeeper. Or at least you're mostly sure that it's not going to happen. So, you have a relaxing night. Audience, as always, you have this element that feels distant from your god. As if this place is sitting on the edge of where the light reaches. As if always watching a sunset or sunrise, never actually basking in the light of the risen sun. It's a distance that you're not used to, but also only feel distressing if you take too long to think about it. So, knowing audience, she's not going to feel distressed by this. Fisher, you have this feeling that now, being here, especially because of last night, it would be so easy to just let yourself slip and sleep and maybe get in touch with whatever is trying to reach you. Also, you know that you will technically be unconscious if you do this, so completely relying on Jorg and Remy to protect you if anything happens.
Yeah.
It's sort of an odd combination. You feel the closest you've ever been to that thing which could help you figure out more, but also you've never felt more in danger every single moment of your life. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if I need to be awake, we're kind of fucked anyway. So I'll, just let myself fall asleep.
all right.
I support that decision.
Your night is relatively calm, but you do have a moment where you're not sure where it's coming from. You just hear this heartbeat. It's soothing. It's nearly feels safe. It's very distant. It's just a it feels like you know it. Feels like it draws you back to a time where it's basically all you were hearing. In the beginning, it was hard to discern, but as you're listening to it, you can't help but to feel like, was the first thing you remember hearing your own core pumping energy into your own body? Or this heartbeat? This one here, that now you know is different than your own. The memory is just too distant. It's a bit blurry. And that's it. That's all you have during your night.
Cool. Cool.
When you wake up, come back online, re-energize. You just hear Terran. You just hear Terranad go, "Oh, and I was enjoying a little bit of freedom." Oh, okay.
Oh, also everyone around you is dead. To like like there's like blood and guts and gore all over the room.
No, but you... There's a black smudge on one of your finger. Fisher.
Black smudge?
Well, yeah, it feels like you dipped your finger in some sort of grease, maybe oil, you're not sure.
It just seems like just normal, like,
Yeah.
oil.
Yeah, you know, kind of things that you would use to remove a bad creak from a door or something like that. As if you just rubbed your finger right after someone poured it on a hinge somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Tana, did you do anything while I was out?
Nothing bad. Don't worry about it.
Well, now I am going to worry about it. That wasn't really an answer to my question.
Don't worry about
What'd
it.
you do?
Nothing serious. Just wanted to make sure that your friends were really sleeping.
I look at my friends.
Jorg has a mustache drawn on him. You know, it's just that I placed my finger under his nose just to make sure that he was breathing. He was sort of
Is it on top of my beard?
I don't know why.
Yeah, it just goes up like this a little bit.
Oh.
You know, 8 hours is long.
I wipe my finger on something so you get rid of the evidence.
You really should have things to make the time go a little bit faster. You know, 8 hours, it's a bit long. Usually people just cut the power for me and I don't have... But now, you are aware that I've been functioning non-stop for several months. Even you have had moments to sleep. I don't.
I mean, I've... Okay. Sure. How do I do that?
I don't know, you're the one walking.
Okay, well then I won't.
Well, then I hope you like your friends all looking at you. You know, I've heard this. There are some gnomes that actually like this. It's called a crossword puzzle. I wonder whose face would be the most appropriate. Audience has scales. There already are those little places perfect for writing down letters. And he has a really flat cheek also. It would be amazing.
Uh-huh.
You know, or you could
I
think about something else.
quickly go to the window and check my reflection.
Well, you have a second pair of eyes. I was just testing out things, you know, trying to make you a little bit more attractive. I've never actually had time to finger paint before. It's actually quite soothing.
Mm-hmm.
Usually I have claws or a single arm, you know, but now I have two.
Sure, I hope you're having fun. We're kind of in an extremely dangerous situation currently.
Yes, so dangerous that you fell asleep.
Well, yeah, because
And
we
while you were
need
asleep,
information I might be able to obtain while I'm asleep.
yeah. Did I wake you up? Did I prevent you from getting this information? Huh?
No,
And meanwhile,
but
I
if
was.
you do something while I'm sleeping that draws more attention to us.
Has anyone entered the room? Has anyone
No.
paid more attention to you right now?
That's not the point, Terranad. You being a uppity little bitch because you're bored and tired could get us killed.
I'm learning that I have an artistic
Learn
talent.
later. Learn later. I'm serious.
For you, Remy, you
I
only
don't-
get the Fisher's half of the conversation. You probably started hearing this. It probably woke you up.
Just like lifts his head up, looks in the direction of the voice.
Does he have anything?
No.
Feathers don't really take oil well, do they?
Well, it's more the fact that Remy is easier. Remy has a
wake up.
lighter sleep than Jorg.
Yeah.
It's more a question of that. So
We'll figure out a way to give you a break once we're done with the Misty Isles. How's that?
something
Until
artistic.
then,
I've never tried
no
artistic.
fucking around.
Well, don't get gross. And so everyone wakes up because I don't want to spend the next 20 minutes arguing with Fisher because I can.
I'm unaware until someone tells me something.
Well, most likely it's going to be very obvious because when are the first thing that you do when you wake up? You know, you and then when you feel there's something a bit odd under your nose, you're probably gonna do this, and then you're gonna realize that you've got black all the way from there to there on your hand. And what the?
happened?
And then
I went
because you
to
did
sleep
that,
last
it
night.
just stretched it out like this.
I went to sleep last night and Terranad played some pranks.
Dude, is this your piss or your shit?
I don't do either of those things.
What is it?
And that's what you, audience,
It
and Tobiashi
smells like
hear as you enter their room, wondering why they haven't got up yet.
Say,
You guys had a fun time last night?
What's going? What?
Dude.
What?
Terranad did something to me.
Audience, all you see is this black line going from under his nose and stretching like this, and you see that he has one finger nearly going to his wrists, a black line.
Looks good, Jorg. I like the fashion statement.
Wasn't me, but thank you.
Does
I
it
look
come
at him
off?
I don't know. I'll go try. I'll
I'll
try
give
and
you
find
my
somewhere to
rag.
wash. Oh, sweet, thanks.
I look at both of them. I'm like, I don't look like that either, do I?
No, he stayed
No.
he stayed in the room.
Well, that's something.
All right, so
I mean,
yeah.
I have no idea. So, where's Civ at? Did he not stay in the beds with us? I mean, in the room?
Well, he's not there right now.
Shit.
First off, we should probably call Khan. It's because we said we would.
Oh yeah,
Alright.
see if he's still
So
alive.
I'll ring up the boy.
It's the boy.
You try to contact him.
Contact.
There's an L.
Oh,
Calm.
contact.
It takes
On him.
it takes a good few minutes before there's an actual answer, and you hear echo when he answers. It feels like he's, I don't know, under a bridge or something, that sort of echo. And you just hear him go, "Shh. I'm under the boat." Because the orb was ringing, and apparently the sound is still loud, even when it's underwater.
Okay. Are you still on the lake then?
For now, I think they have undead fish.
That's new.
Write that
Do
down.
you want us to come try and pick you up? Or are you gonna try and make it somewhere else?
I
Look at audience like,
I don't know where I am exactly. I've been floating on the lake the entire night. I think I managed to sleep for a few hours, so now I'm really not sure where I am. I don't see the shoreline anywhere, so I might still be on lake.
Okay. So I guess you don't want us to come pick you up then.
what?
Well, I don't mind. I just wouldn't know where to tell you to pick me up.
I mean, if you're floating downstream and are still on the lake, we could just head towards the mouth of a river that would be on the downstream side. If you said there was a current on the downstream side of the lake, so towards whichever way the current's flowing,
All
because
right.
that's where you'll end up.
Well, you're the one with the map, so I'm gonna have to rely on the indication you're giving me. I sort of remember the map that Civ drew, but not in a whole lot of details.
Okay.
It looks like the lake goes either north or south. It could go downstream either direction, but it's not super clear.
Ooh,
Well, usually water comes from mountains or hill and goes
yeah,
toward
from
the
like
ocean.
when
Yeah.
it's snowing.
So does
yeah.
the north one come from the mountain?
Yes.
Yes.
Or okay.
Yeah. So he'd be floating down towards the southern. He'd be floating down
Yeah.
towards the southern part of the lake.
I don't know. So if you tried to get back to me, I'd say, wasn't there a a railroad. He called it going.
Yeah, I don't think the railway station would really get us too much closer.
If we,
Yeah.
I mean, the rail. Okay, so if he's at where we're talking about right now, right? He is just starting to go down the river. Is that correct?
I'm not sure.
Mhm.
I don't see the shoreline anywhere.
No, he's probably still in the lake. 'Cause
So
the
he's
river
still in the
doesn't-
lake right before then. If we took the train, got off on the railway, we don't. I'm saying this all because we don't know when the train is going to be leaving exactly. So if we were to figure that out and then calculate the time, we should be able to get off just when he's crossing in. We just have to cut diagonally through the woods.
Well, I don't know. Wasn't there a place where the river crossed with a road?
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah, there is that.
if I
We-
try to keep going down, I mean, anyway, if you try to reach me, it's going to be more than a day's walk. I'll have time
Yeah.
to be a lot further along. So
It might be easier if you just contact us when you reach that road. And then we can quickly take 2 trains, because that's just 2 train stops for us. And go and try and meet you there.
all right. I'm mostly. I'm not exactly sure how long going down the river is going to take, but yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm saying we can use that time to do some research now, because we should do
Okay.
some research anyway. And then you call us and let us know when you've hit the road, and we'll come and try and pick you up.
All right. Unless there's something really awful that happens that doesn't kill me, we'll talk again at the end of the day.
All right, sounds good.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, so us and the others, so we should probably head and use some of this time to do some research while we have some time.
Mhm.
All right.
But I
Just
mean-
and watch out for that one dude who's in apparently the area where we would do research. But
Well, it's entirely up to you. It's morning. You've been the tea worked properly. You have removed 2 points of exhaustion. I believe that brings everyone to no exhaustion.
Sure. yeah,
Which means now you are fit and ready to go adventuring. You've recovered all of your hit points, all of your spell slots. You don't know where Civ is, but he's probably not far away. And you have a few options. You can try and go to the library immediately. You can keep that in store, or you can just keep on exploring the city.
Wait. I talk to audience. I'm like, what do we have to? What are we studying for? What information more do we need? There's somebody out there that's probably going to die. Why aren't we going out there?
because we can't help him now until we don't know where he was.
We
and
don't know when the
waste-
train's leaving, though.
Also, what do you mean, Toby? What information do you need? Are you be my means? Do you have the plan to go and put the orb down in the Citadel and rescue? Do you know? Do you have all the
Well,
information?
There's
Did you-
that
did you
information.
see it in
too,
your
but we have
dreams?
someone
Are you a
going to
prophet?
die here. We don't know what they're going through right now. They've been surviving out there for I don't know how long.
I understand this. Which
It's
is
another
why I had
life
him
that we took to
contact-
this.
Which is why I had him contact us when he reaches a place where we could actually help him. In the meantime, we should gain some valuable information so we are better prepared for after we help him.
He's
It's about using our
essentially
time efficiently.
currently adrift in the middle of a very large lake.
Mhm.
We can't help him there.
Yeah, we can't help them in the middle of the lake, but I'm not sure. But can we get off at other train stations when we meet them? Okay, so my exact question is, what are the dots in between the big train stations that are in cities?
For
The stars
Tobiyashi,
are-
he would call it towns, fortified village. Sorry, they call it way stations.
We're trying to go get him when he's near a way station so we can actually help him there, because then we'll know a location that we can actually go and pick him up at.
Hmm.
In the meantime, because it's going to be a bit, because he's literally floating down a river, which isn't very fast, we should use that time to go gather information quickly in the library so that we have some information so we know what we're doing next. Because we need to know like what's going on at the Citadel. Fisher needs to figure out some train stuff and how to work the trains. We need to, yeah, we just don't have really a lot of information right now.
Yeah, I guess so. I just feel it's wrong just doing nothing. But that's just me.
Yeah. I wish we could. Like, the only thing we could really do right now would be to travel to that city, take the train, and then just sit on the bridge waiting for him to show up on the river.
Yeah.
That could be like more than a day though. Rivers are not.
And
He's floating.
All right.
Sitting there could draw attention from stuff.
Also, it sounds like there's a lot of these zombies out in the wild, so we might end up just having to run or flee anyway, and then wouldn't be there to meet him. The shorter time we're there to actually pick him up, probably the better.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go. All right.
Yeah, let's try and go to the library today.
All right. You all.
Where is Civ? I'm gonna call Civ.
He answers pretty quickly. Is there something you need today?
We're thinking of trying to get in to the library today. Where are you at?
In an advantageous position? I would draw a bit of attention if I went with you. I can meet you there if you want.
Okay.
I can give you clear indications, clear directions for you to get there. But if I start showing myself in public, I might create more of a frenzy than remain a helpful guide.
Toby said you were gonna make or get us a map of the process.
Yes. Just meet me outside.
Okay.
Can easily hand you a map. It is a bit tattered, it is a bit torn down. I took it from a nearly abandoned post, but it'll work for now.
Alright, see you outside.
Very well. Alright, so my question as a dungeon master, do you really want a map of the city? Because I can draw one for you. Or are you just relying on the fact that now you have a map and you can mostly orient yourself where you want to go?
Yeah, I don't. As a player, I don't need a map. I want my character to not get lost.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know it would kind of be fun to see a map of the city, but also I know that it wouldn't bring anything else other than something very cosmetic.
It would be
so-
cool. It's not necessary.
All right. So
It's kind of like when you have like an image of a written letter as opposed
Yeah.
to just having the contents of the written letter available.
yeah. So if I'm not too sick during the week, I might try and draw something. If not, well, there's more chance that you won't have a map for next week. All right. So outside of you waits a very worn down, slightly torn map that Civ hands you as you walk down. Jorg, do you use a spell slot to make good berries, or do you go and buy something to eat, or use rations?
I'm just gonna use I'll buy something.
All
I
right.
don't want to use up my spell slots yet, just in case.
Well, to be fair, a good berry lasts for an entire day. If I
Yeah, I was about to suggest the same
if
thing.
I'd said the
You
same
literally-
thing just before you went to bed, you would have
Oh.
regained all of your spell slot and still have been able to give everyone a good berry in the morning.
That's a good point. Yeah, maybe I'll have had done that.
All right.
So we've got some good berries if you want them. If you want real food.
So everyone, you have a good berry in front of you.
Yeah.
It fills your tummy. It's just not morally very satisfying, but it works. So, good berry. Buy something to eat from the innkeeper, or use ration. You all have a choice.
I don't need to eat.
I mean, I'll
I'm
eat a
gonna buy
good berry.
something.
Okay.
I'm just gonna have good berries.
All right.
No, I'll eat a good berry because why not?
Delbiashi and Remy? You're muted. I didn't hear you.
I'll take a berry.
Okay.
Cool. So that's 3 berries. Anybody else?
I think he'll eat the berry, mostly because actually Remy is kind of like waiting to see how like someone else in the party reacts to the food in this place before.
I want to try it.
We don't know the health and safety standards of this continent.
Yeah.
It's about enough.
Yeah.
Some people like moldy cheese. Maybe they like moldy bread.
It's whatever they found in the
I mean,
rat.
you're joking
traps,
about
dude.
that, but
Oh, I know. I've seen some of those diets out there. All right. So, you all take a good berry. Satisfying for the tummy, not so much for the mind. But it works. Revitalized, fed, Remy pours a drink to everyone with his decanter of endless water. And for some reason, mispronounced the last one, and Tobiashi gets splashed. No,
Yeah, roll to pronounce it correctly.
So, you're restored and on your way to the library. On your path, you know you will have to cross at least one town square that is pretty lively in this moment of the year. But other than that, you should have a very quiet and discreet way there. And so, since I believe some of you need to not leave too late today, I will simply say the first part of your journey is unremarkable. For Jorg, Audience, and Fisher, it is your first interaction with the world outside. And you have the same impression as Tobiashi and Remy had during the previous day. People are cautious about talking to people they don't know, but the moment they see someone they do know, you immediately recognize the same attitude as people would have in a normal city. They start a conversation when they're walking with a child. At least one of them will eventually get annoyed and try to push mother or father to hurry up. You have the same feeling of impending danger whenever you turn a corner and you see a Mill E unit walking by, but they're pretty mechanical and easily identified. Their cloak is usually a bit tattered. Their armor isn't shiny, and their symbiote creature glows a very, very pale, nearly dead, you'd say, red. Eventually, you find yourself following a couple with 2 children going toward a much larger town square. where everything looks a bit more lively and people are talking a bit louder, and you half recognize this element of, oh yeah, it's a marketplace, it's fun, people are talking, you recognize the usual things, people trying to get a lower price, trying to get that one over there, the one that looks really good because it's the end of the season. And then just like Tobiyashi and Remy, you have this realization of they don't have the rest of the world, they don't have this economy that allows them to have imports from everywhere else. So when winter comes, which is nearly there for you right now, it's gonna get pretty harsh. They're gonna be relying on preserved food, pickled food, smoked food. There are no longer going to be any fresh produce. For your audience, you think less about it because you've lived in a culture like this. Your native tribe, your native clan lives in a very boreal setting, nearly alpine setting.
Mhm.
For everyone else, however, it's slightly more distressing. Maybe not so for Fisher because he doesn't feel temperature as much and doesn't need to eat. But for Jorg, Tobiyashi, and Remy, who has never been anywhere higher than the Misty Island chain, there's a little sense of, hey, it's gonna get rough here within the next few weeks when fresh food is going to slowly die down and they're gonna have to rely on their wits and their ability to preserve food long term. But for you, audience, this feels nearly normal. And you have this thing in your mind is, oh yeah, they're probably gonna have this type of meat that is smoked like this. You don't have a choice. It just dries better, but it leaves such an interesting taste. And you have this moment of, oh yeah, things might get savory in the next few weeks here. Feel closer to home. But you're the only one who has that thought. And you have this, alright, this feels nearly normal. There's always this sense of careful. Whenever there is a melee unit that enters the town square, immediately people watch and wait for a moment to see what it's going to do. And as soon as it stops moving or goes away, you feel the tension just going down again and everyone feeling more relaxed. Up to the point where, at one point, you enter this town square and Tobiyashi and Remy, you recognize the moment of the day where, oh yeah, children are going to start arriving. And just as you think this, you hear from behind you the voice of a child that just say, he's a conductor. And immediately you hear a child rushing toward you, Fisher, going, where's your train? Where's your train? Can we go on your train? As you have this reaction that you just had right now, you hear the mistress go, now kids, look at him. Conductors do not wear armor. Who can tell me who wears an armor? At the front of a train, you hear a kid go, an arbalist. And then Fisher,
Dope.
This is the first time of your life that this happens.
I actually figure out what my job was.
Yes and no. Yes, you sort of have this moment of, is it what I was? And then you get swarmed by kids.
Wonderful.
It only takes 10 seconds before you cannot understand who is asking you what question about where's your crossbow? How have you ever had to defend a train against people? Which one is your train? And they just start. It's like trying to figure out a flock of seagull. Who is saying what? And you just hear.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Is that where we're ending, or are we?
If you want to say something, I'll let you. But yeah, it's a joyful place to end today's episode.
Yeah, I think I just look the rest of my party with like a help.
For the rest of you, it's nearly touching. It's literally a swarm of kids wrapping themselves around Fisher and touching him and poking him and pulling on whatever they can, and questions being bombarded at them. What's your train? How long have you been doing this? Where's your crossbow? You stupid, they can't use their crossbow outside of the train. But I want to see it.
Fisher is an arbalist from our imagination.
I look over at everyone else. I think we should let it keep going on. I don't know about you.
I think it's drawing too much attention to us. So
What are we gonna throw? What are we gonna do? We're gonna throw the kids. What are we gonna do?
Give me a stick. Give me a stick. Trust
I don't
me.
have one.
I'll hand him my No wait, I don't want to give
A
you
stick
my cat.
or a staff?
Give me a stick.
Do we have a like?
Nobody just
Okay.
carries around a stick.
Just use
dude.
your fist. Who carries
Give me your
sticks
staff.
nowadays?
Then. I need to be a cane. I'm an old man. Give me your stick.
Oh, that makes sense. I'll give you my staff.
I'm gonna start kind of like not beating the kids, but in my old man voice, basically, and I'm gonna be like, "Get off of you little nuisance! This robot's helping take me to my therapist. Get off him! Get off him! I have to go, cranky old man. Get off him!"
My machine! My machine! Go away! My machine! Alright, well, that's an
But
interesting...
I'd look to the lady who's in charge of them and just go, "I'm sorry, but I am busy. I can't really entertain them currently."
Alright, well, we're gonna end on this as I can, with audience just starting to beat gently kids with a stick, and then my machine, I need him to go to the temple,
Gently.
my machine. And Fisher just go, I don't have time, I'm actually busy. Interesting image.
You see, old men are the only people that can get away with beating children.
It's actually something that a comedian said here. It's when you're old, it's fun because you can insult anyone and be mean to everyone, and everyone thinks you're just cute or senile. But it works both ways. So we've never received any fan art. But if we could have a fan art of this one, I think I'd appreciate it. Audience beating on kids, and Fisher with his hands up saying, I need to go. Alright, so this concludes tonight's episode on a slightly more joyful tone. Which, even though audience and Fisher, you probably both feel like we don't have time for this, there is probably also a little aspect of you somewhere in there that says, well, it's nice to see that even though there's all of this gloomy stuff, there's still a little bit of that in this world. And so, tonight's episode is going to close on this very interesting moment. Usually we go with sound of crackling fire. Yeah, it's always fun ending an episode with the sound of... All you need are marshmallows. I've had... It's been so long since I've had marshmallows. I think the last time was my mother made Rice Krispies squares because she finally got some Rice Krispies and some marshmallows, and she gave it to everyone she could, which is mostly me, because our only friend lives 4 hours away. So let's just say I live very close. The rest of our friends not so close. So it's mostly just me. All right. Thank you for being here tonight. We hope you had a pleasant evening. We hope you will be there next week for the continuation of this adventure. And we're going to see how the whole thing ends as Audience beats little kid into submission, and Fisher tries to push them away and get out of there gently. And hopefully everything's going to just keep on going on this very lovely image of everyday life, which most likely it would not, but still, we can be hopeful. And so, and so, next week, Wednesday or Friday, if you're there for the rebroadcast. And as always, if you enjoyed the show, you can support the stream by following us on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. You can also support the stream by making a donation, which is very appreciated by me mostly, but still it's very appreciated. Becoming a Patreon, because, if you don't want to give $5 a month on Patreon, and I also only get $2.50 on Patreon, if you actually give $2, I actually get more than $1. And you can give less than $5. So, could also be interesting, and it'll let me know that you actually want to keep watching this. Because, like I said, Valen V is always very appreciated, but I think she deserves more people in the chat. At least we want more people in the chat for her. It's all for her. It's just... And of course, if you want to use the traditional way of supporting us, you can always subscribe. Because right now, I think we have 4 subscriptions. You should probably try and put a place somewhere in there that lets you know how many subscriptions we have. But you remember that you can subscribe, I don't have to mention it every single episode for the past year. And if you can't do any of all of those, well, simply spreading the word about this channel helps tremendously. Getting more people to watch, more people to enjoy, and who knows, if I get enough supporters, I might actually get to post things in Patreon which I can monetize, which means you will be privileged in some way. Probably going to be map to start with, but, we'll see. So, like I said, thank you for being there. See you next Wednesday or Friday if you're watching this on the rebroadcast. And as always, stay safe and stay healthy. Good night.
Jenny!
Peace.